This is the final Exodus.
The BRICS 2025 summit is here, but these nations are not just coming to talk. They are laying the foundation for a post-dollar world, launching a blueprint for a new world order that does not include the U.S. at the center.
Hold on. What did you just say? Let's listen to that again.
The BRICS 2025 summit is here, but these nations are not just coming to talk. They are laying the foundation for a post-dollar world, launching a blueprint for a new world order that does not include the U.S. at the center. They are laying the foundation for a post-dollar world. They are laying the foundation for a post-dollar world.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Mitch, and this is the final Exodus. Today I have something very important for you. But I want to start with this riddle. The whole world is involved in a war right now. It is a worldwide war, and it's not military, but it fully exists, and it involves you, and actually every country of the world. The issue that is difficult here is that no one sees it. No one sees it. But yet, you already know it's happening. So everything I'm about to show you, you probably already know. But it's not at the forefront of your mind, and you most likely don't even really realize that you know this. So pay attention to what I'm about to show you. Let's get started. To understand this war, you have to understand what the BRICS nations are. I've been surveying people for the last couple weeks, and I'm realizing that only about 5% of the people that I consider frontline soldiers in the Lord know what the BRICS nations are. So what are the BRICS nations?
BRICS, a coalition of nations founded by Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, has grown rapidly in recent years, expanding its membership to include countries like Egypt, Iran, Saudi Arabia, and most recently, Vietnam. While once dismissed as a loose group of emerging countries, BRICS now accounts for over half of the world's population, creates 45% of global GDP, and produces 30% of the world's oil. They've positioned themselves not just as a coalition, but as a credible counterweight to the West's financial dominance. So it's no surprise that they believe it is time for a seat at the table, a new role, a new voice, and potentially a new financial system.
Wait, what? Why does BRICS matter?
They've positioned themselves not just as a coalition, but as a credible counterweight to the West's financial dominance. They've positioned themselves not just as a coalition, but as a credible counterweight to the West's financial dominance.
But this goes much deeper than most people realize. To understand BRICS, you have to understand the Western financial dominance. But it isn't the Western financial dominance. So what are we talking about here? We're talking about two entities on the earth. The earth is divided into two factions, and the dominant one is the Israeli-based global currency, the petrodollar, the central bank petrodollar. But to better understand the BRICS nations and what they represent to the West or to Israel, it is very important to understand the answers to some questions regarding our own system of central banking. So I want to ask you some questions. You all understand that the United States is in a state of debt, right? It's about 36 trillion and growing every day. So I have a question for you. Who are we in debt to? You know the answer to this question. As I've surveyed people about this question, the first answer that comes to most people's minds is China, but that is not true. China buys our debt, but our debt is to those who print the money, the central bankers. But why is that important? Well, Banking is big business. It not only makes you very wealthy, it also makes you very powerful. So the BRICS nations are strategizing against that global control. And this is what she has to say about it.
They've positioned themselves not just as a coalition, but as a credible counterweight to the West's financial dominance. So it's no surprise that they believe it is time for a seat at the table, a new role, a new voice, and potentially a new financial system. But this weekend, they'll get that chance. On July 6th and 7th, the 17th annual BRICS Summit is set to take place in Rio de Janeiro against a backdrop of a fragile Middle East, growing geopolitical risk, and long-term doubts about the stability of the dollar.
When did she say the BRICS nations are meeting?
On July 6th and 7th, the 17th annual BRICS Summit is set to take place in Rio de Janeiro. On July 6th and 7th, the 17th
Well, nothing to see here.
BRICS Summit is set to take place in Rio de Janeiro.
Because nothing's really happening, right?
But what exactly can we expect to happen at this year's summit? Well, officially, the agenda includes a broad range of items, ranging from AI governance to climate action to regional development. But unofficially, there is one big topic, and that is building the foundation of a new global system that insulates them from Western control.
What is the main point of their meeting?
But unofficially, there is one big topic, and that is building the foundation of a new global system that insulates them from Western control.
And what do you think Donald Trump thinks about them dethroning the Israeli-backed central bank petrodollar? Well, let's read about that. 7 months ago, he said this: the idea that the BRICS countries are trying to move away from the dollar while we stand by and watch is over. We require a commitment from these countries that they will neither create a new BRICS currency nor back any other currency to replace the mighty US dollar, or they will face 100% tariffs and should expect to say goodbye to selling into the wonderful US economy. They can go find another sucker. There is no chance that the BRICS will replace the US dollar in international trade, and any country that tries should wave goodbye to America. I'm here to tell you it's going to be much worse than waving goodbye to America. This is going to get very serious. And it's happening right on time. And the Bible tells us how it's going to turn out. So, if you're driving in your car or you're doing something else and you're not looking at the screen, I'm going to leave you with a final word here, but I'm not going to talk. So look at your screen and catch the ending of this video. Guys, I'm praying for you. Pray for me. I'll see you soon. God bless you.